You ever watch a movie where the kid who was always in the background suddenly gets handed the lead and, for one trembling, glorious hour, convinces you the whole script was written for him all along? That was Sunday for Shedeur Sanders, rookie, son of a legend, fifth-round pick, underprepared in practice, who walked into his first NFL start and, in fits and flashes, made the Browns' offense feel alive again. ESPN.com, he didn't dominate. He didn't have to. He completed 11 of 20 passes for 209 yards, tossed his first NFL touchdown, and threw one interception. Those numbers don't sing, they narrate. What sang were the moments. A 66-yard touchdown that started as a screen and ended as a runaway, the kind of play that makes a stadium forget scorelines for a minute, and a 52-yard rollout bomb that unlocked Isaiah Bond's speed in a way Cleveland hadn't seen this season. More than stats, it was confidence, the sort that spreads quietly through a locker room and louder through tape. ClevelandBrowns.com. And let's not pretend the Browns did it alone. Their defense turned into a demolition crew, delivering 10 sacks that made the Raiders look like a team that forgot how to pass protection in the offseason. Myles Garrett led the way with 3 of them, and the front seven's performance wasn't just padding a box score. It was the cover a rookie quarterback wishes he had when the playbook feels half written for him. When your D is hunting in the backfield, a young QB gets a sense of mercy, time, space, and a chance to try the things he practiced in slow motion. ClevelandBrowns.com. Here's why the Browns' decision to keep Sanders as the starter against the San Francisco 49ers is the right call. Context matters more than perfection. Dylan Gabriel cleared concussion protocol, sure. But that very fact highlighted the Browns' real problem this year. Continuity at quarterback has been a mirage. Gabriel got reps, Joe Flacco was traded away, Sanders got almost none with the first team. When injuries force your hand, you can either treat a rookie like a hot potato or give him the seasoning he actually needs. Cleveland chose seasoning. They gave him a week of first-team reps, watched how the O-line, the play calls, and his reads stacked up, and then measured results. The result was a win. That's a useful data point. ClevelandBrowns.com. If you're the kind of analyst who only reads box scores and sneers, you'll find plenty to nitpick. Advanced metrics flagged some ugly stuff. Negative EPA on certain dropbacks, a middling success rate, and plays that look like a rookie trying to translate college instincts into pro speed. Remove the long-developing, brilliantly blocked screen from the ledger, and the afternoon looks less cinematic. Fine. But the NFL is not an exam scored by analytics alone. It's a job where you either help your team win on Sunday or you don't. On Sunday, the Browns won, and that's the primary responsibility of a quarterback. Yahoo Theithau. Think about it this way. Handing a young quarterback a series of starts in a season where your odds are already low is an investment in knowledge. You can either spend the offseason guessing what your rookie needs, or you can take the field with him now and collect real answers. What does he handle under pressure? Where does the timing break down? Which receivers respond to his processing speed? Those are questions film answers faster than drills. If you're building toward a future, you'd rather have the tape than the theory. The Browns chose to get informed instead of staying comfortable guessing. Yahoo Theithau. There's also the human ledger to consider. Sanders stood in front of reporters and said what rookies with big names seldom admit. He felt the rush, he learned from the pain, and 1 week of proper practice made him feel dangerous. That was his phrasing, roughly. Imagine a full off-season. That sort of self-belief, when it's grounded in improvement and not ego, can be contagious. Myles Garrett and other veterans publicly protected him after a rough debut in Baltimore. Leadership like that is the emotional margin that keeps players working instead of folding. Coaches don't make decisions in a vacuum. They watch how teammates rally behind or abandon a player. Cleveland's locker room chose to rally. Fox Sports Now paused for the stakes. The opponent next up is the 49ers, a team that rarely makes things easy. Brock Purdy and that San Francisco offense can punish creativity if protection breaks down or if short fields appear. But here's the counterintuitive truth. A rookie starter who's practiced with the ones and earned a win can sometimes be harder to prepare for than a veteran whose tendencies are already mapped. The Browns will scheme to hide flaws. Quicker reads, rollouts, play action off short drops, more schemed advantages for Bond and Sampson, and the 49ers will adjust. Either you let the fear of the 49ers keep you pinned to yesterday, or you lean into what you saw Sunday and try to build from it. Cleveland bet on the latter. NBC Sports. Let's not sugarcoat the risks. A rookie's confidence is a fragile currency. One bad game, one strip, one pick six, and the narrative swings hard from promising to premature. The Browns know that. Kevin Stefanski said as much. He praised Sanders, arm and poise, but stressed improvement. That's coaching speak, the good kind, where praise is paired with a growth plan instead of a permanent promotion. The right call is rarely the safe one. It's the one that gives you the best chance to learn and to win. At 3-8, the Browns have more to learn to preserve. AP News. Where this goes next will be decided by tiny things. How well the offensive line communicates on stunt calls, how often a check down becomes a first down instead of a sack, whether Bond and Sampson turn big plays into consistent gains, and whether Sanders' footwork tightens up under pressure. Those are teachable, film-fixable problems. They're not personality flaws, and they're not sentence-ending verdicts. If the Browns wanted to bury these questions for another year, they would have. Instead, they chose daylight. That tells you what kind of franchise this is right now. Curious, a little desperate, and willing to learn in public. ClevelandBrowns.com. So here's the image to carry out of this. A locker room that chose to give a kid a chance, a defense that gave him cover, and a coach who decided that an honest week of first-team work meant more than a convenient return to a safer script. It's not a romantic ending yet, it's the prologue to one. If Sanders plays like a player who's been practiced, tutored, and protected by his teammates, this will look like a brilliant, patient move. If he crumbles, the Browns will have learned quickly and honestly. Either way, they'll know more tomorrow than they did yesterday. Countdown to clevelandbrowns.com. And the final line you'll hum on the ride home. Wins are the only honest currency in this league, and sometimes the only way to buy the future is to spend the present. The Browns spent Sunday on a bet that Shedeur Sanders is worth the gamble. He cashed in enough to keep the conversation going. Now it's on him, his coaches, and his teammates to turn a moment into a movement. You ever watch a rookie's first real test and feel like you're seeing 2 seasons compressed into one afternoon? Shedeur Sanders walked into his first NFL start with a spotlight that could fry an egg. Famous last name, viral expectations, and a city that's been starved for answers at quarterback. He left Las Vegas with a win, his first NFL touchdown, and something even more valuable, a little clarity. Not perfection, not a miracle. Just progress you can point to and say, okay, that's something to build on. You don't win on theatrics alone. The stat line, 11 of 20 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, reads tidy but not world-shaking. The real stuff lived between the numbers. A 52-yard strike that flipped field position and a 66-yard screen that turned into his first NFL touchdown when Dylan Sampson outran the entire Raiders secondary. That screen wasn't magic by accident. It was a clean, accurate throw into space where the runner could do the rest. That's quarterbacking 101 executed well under pressure, and it matters more than highlight reel aesthetics. Let's be blunt. The matchup helped. Las Vegas's offensive line has been a sieve, and Cleveland's defensive front went to work. Sacks, pressure, turnover chances. A dominant defense makes a quarterback's day easier by shortening the field and shrinking margin for error. Still, winning is the currency of coaching decisions, and a win with a rookie starter after 1 week of first-team practice buys you patience and a closer look. Kevin Stefanski didn't pick Sanders because he wanted headlines. He picked him because the tape and the result gave him something to test. But there's nuance here that a single clip or box score can't capture. Sanders wasn't handing the ball off and hoping for miracles. He showed poise on rollout reads, placed the ball where his playmakers could attack, and didn't panic when protection broke down. He absorbed pressure and threw away what he couldn't make into something positive. For a rookie with only a handful of NFL snaps, that's less lucky and more competent under duress. That competence is the difference between being an audition and being an option. Of course, the skeptics have a list. Advanced metrics flagged his negative EPA and low success rate. Strip the 66-yard touchdown out of the ledger, and you get a cleaner look at the mistakes, the interception, a handful of stalled drives, and timing that wasn't crisp on every snap. That's fair. Film doesn't lie, and sample size is everything. But the job here isn't to crown a rookie king after one afternoon. It's to evaluate whether he has traits that can be coached. On that score, Sanders passed a key litmus test. He didn't fold. There's something else worth watching.